As a worship leader, one of the things I'm always looking for is tools and resources to make my job easier, specifically in the regards to practicing and preparing for a set. So I love the MultiTracks playback app. I think it's a phenomenal resource for people who aren't experts to be able to dive in and be able to play backing tracks and clicks and guides that help keep the band together. I love Planning Center as it's something that kind of brings everybody together and helps to make sure that everybody's on the schedule and is organized. But one of my favorite resources for preparing for a Sunday morning is the ChartBuilder app from MultiTracks. And this isn't sponsored by any stretch of the imagination, but I wanted to share some of my tips and my guides for how I use ChartBuilder from MultiTracks to be able to prepare myself well for the services that I have coming up. So one of the things that I love using it for is in conjunction with the playback app. If you're a part of our team here at Grace Point, you know that we use the playback app and the ChartBuilder app a ton here. And that's because they really easily sync in with our already set up Planning Center schedule. So it auto imports into playback and it allows for me to make tweaks to the arrangements and change the transitions and all of that. And the other thing that it really is great about is it auto schedules everybody in. So when you are on the schedule, it auto-populates into playback and lets you know, hey, this is the team that's on according to Planning Center. And it adds you in right here into ChartBuilder. So I want to walk through a few of my tips and tricks for ChartBuilder, but first I want to go over what it is. It is a dynamic charts and track app. What it does is it's a dynamic app that helps you to prepare the best you can possibly be for a Sunday morning so that you have the music down and you know how it's all going to sound, you know how the arrangement will fit together to the best of the abilities within the app. And it helps you to really making charts and tracks super easy for your team. So I want to walk through some of the features it has and how I use them. So the first is this, it's got the home page, and I love this page as a worship leader. You'll see that it's got all of the top songs that are currently in the rotation, stuff you'll recognize off of here like Praise, Goodness of God, Holy Forever, Gratitude, Firm Foundation, The Joy. Phenomenal songs, but you see they're all as a part of this top banner here that allows you to see what songs are up there. You'll also see that it's got all of the top artists here below, and you've got Elevation Worship, Bethel, Brandon Lake, Passion, Hillsong, Phil Wickham, a lot of them. And you can see that they're all listed here, and you can look at the albums and different things that they've released and put out. Then below here, you can see those top albums. And this is really great as a worship leader when you're looking for songs that you're putting into the set. So one of the things you can do is in this top bar up here, you can type in songs. And one of my favorites right now is a song by the name of Throne Room Song by Charity Gale. So you can type it in and we'll prepare the chart. And you'll see the original key is an A flat, but say you wanted to try out a different key and something else, you could actually go in and select it and maybe change it into G. And then hit done and it'll auto-populate in the key of G. Or maybe you want to do this in the key of D. All it takes is two clicks and you're good to go. And this is really nice where not only does it change the charts to that key, but it also changes these tracks to that key so you can test it out with your voice and see how it sits. The other great thing about this app is that when you are on the schedule, it actually auto-populates for you your set list once they are put into playback, which is the multi-track app that goes along with ChartBuilder. And so you'll see here, this is our set for this weekend. We've got a couple of different songs in here. You can see the keys and the BPMs right underneath it. You can see the people who are on that set. But let's open up here into 1,000 names and I'll show you some of the things that you can do. The first thing you see is this. Right up here at the top, you can see the arrangement view. That tells you what parts are there. And if you wanted to go to a specific part, all you have to do is click it and it'll jump right to it. And one of the other things as a part of this that you can do is you could actually leave notes similar to this. And how you do that is you go up here into the top right menu and you can change all of the stuff up here. Like if you wanted to type it out, the font, if you wanted to change the color of the pen, you can change that there. And you can go through and be able to write in notes like that. And now, there's one very specific thing you need to know, and that is about the safe area. So say I start drawing right here, you'll see it stops. And that's because it needs to create safe space for these kind of MD notes. So you'll see I can't go above it, but I can draw below it. So you'll have to know that you have to write in these small margins on the sides, but you can put tons of notes in there, and if you needed to ever erase them, it's as simple as a click of a button on the undo button there. But going back down to here, you can see all of these track stems. You can see that there's the original song with the reference track here. You can see that there's the percussion stuff. You see the bass, guitars, and that's got all 5 electric guitar parts plus the acoustic part. You can see the keys parts there, vocals, and the auxiliary stuff like strings on this case. And you can see that they're all housed within this audio window. And what's really, really, really nice about this is if you are a musician or a vocalist, this is a super helpful feature. You can go in, select your part. So say I'm playing electric guitar this week and I'm playing like a rhythm electric guitar. So I might look at rhythm electric 3 or 4. So I'm gonna go with 3. What I can do is I can, 1, see where that instrument comes in during the song, but then I can also decide whether or not when I'm playing back the tracks to listen, I can have it either decreased, so it's out of the mix so that I can hear my part along with the rest of the music, or I can hear it increased so I can indicate what that part is really playing, which is so nice and so helpful when it comes to preparing for a set. But maybe you've got a really complex song and there's a part in the song that you want to loop again and again and again. So what you can do is down here in this audio bar, you can actually just kind of move your cursor or move your finger over to here, and you'll see it's got highlighted not only here what parts you're in and what the waveform looks like, but also up here what part that is, and it's got a little box that's illuminated around that part itself on the track. And then what I can do is say I want to really hammer that part out. I can come over here and hit this loop button, and now you'll see it now indicates right there that it'll loop for infinity, and it'll just keep running that part over and over again. So say I wanted to work on a guitar lead. I could really hone it in over and over and over again in practice by just using those 2 simple commands. But say you're a vocalist and you're like, well, Evan, how do I use this? It's got a bunch of instrument stuff. It's really helpful for the chords. What do I do to utilize this? And that's where I'd say, listen, it is my favorite feature, a part of this stuff that I can be able to listen to and go in and see where the background vocals are in the mix, where they're at in the song. So you can see here, this is actually in one of the choruses for 1,000 Names. And I can see that they're there. They come in a little bit at the end of that verse, but now you can see they're through that chorus, they drop out for a little bit, and then they come back in pretty heavy. And that's really helpful to know when are you singing as a part of the band and the team, and when are you just worshiping off mic? Because both are leadership, but one adds energy to the mix, and you wanna make sure you save that so you don't run out of energy and headroom for that energy too early, so you can't bring that song to its peak. So you'll know when you can sing and what parts you should sing. And then you could also be able to listen to what the example harmonies are. Now, they're transposed and you have to be okay with that. But you can hear what those harmony parts would sound like and kind of base your harmonies off of them. Maybe you can pick out a couple of different harmonies that they're singing as a part of like a chorus or something. Or maybe you can hear the harmony parts in the choir. And that might help you kind of start to find your harmony parts. But that's a really, really nice feature to be able to indicate those, listen to them, and increase them or decrease them to hear how it would sound with the rest of the song. The other thing I want to showcase is this. When you went up here to adjust all of the keys as a worship leader, you could also come in here and say you're an acoustic guitarist and say we're doing a song in, let's say it's an F. I can now look and see a couple of different key examples and the capo that they would need to be able to play them in that key. So say I wanted to put a capo on fret 1, I can now play it in the key of E with the chord shapes, but really be in the key of F, which is super helpful to be able to quickly change it and be able to reference it if you changed keys or something like that in a rehearsal, which is very, very, very helpful. Well, I hope this has been helpful for you as you're looking at this software, that it seems like something you can handle, because I know that it is. If you have any more questions about this software, if you're a Grace Point team member, or maybe if you're not, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'd love to be able to get to them and help you out as we go. But this is how I use ChartBuilder to help me make my practicing efficient and make it fun, but also really helpful, that I'm not just guessing how the song will be played. I know exactly how the song will be done, and it is an amazing, amazing piece of software. So if you've got questions, feel free to drop them below. Outside of that, until next time, we'll see you then.